awake in thy light, I awake in thy light, I am joyful, I am free, I awake in thy light. I awake in thy light, I awake in thy light, I am joyful, I am free, I awake in thy light. Well, I find when I dream that God doesn't seem to be in it. I might be driving a car and going backwards and parking, and I can't stop and I'm going to hit the fence, I might be elevating, rising up in the air and moving along, showing someone I can do it. But I'm not aware of God. I might be lost in a city, I don't know, town, on a bus going, I'm not sure where. And God is not in my consciousness, you see. So I want to bring God into it. Now, if I bring God in, will I wake up from the dream immediately? I don't think in a dream I even have a name. I don't know I'm Marshall. And if I did, perhaps that would trigger the things associated with my life here, Marshall. Knowledge of God, awareness of God, and so on. So if I bring God into the dream, will I automatically wake up? And is God allowing the dreams without God, the consciousness of God, rather, to me, so that I can dream, because the dream has a function. Now, same with life, isn't it? I could battle to bring the full awareness, continual awareness of God into life here. Will the dream of life then evaporate? And is that best? Well, no, some dreams are lovely. For instance, in one of the dreams I just had, there's a lovely lady who was being loving and kind to me. And, well, don't want to wake up from that experience, do I? This good person. So, I wonder if we should hesitate to simply increase our consciousness of God. To be thankful is one thing. To be deliberately trying to be conscious of God is another. I think being thankful is safer. There may be some, and I don't know, there may be some built-in stability in simply thanking. We run out of things that we can thank God for and have time to thank Him for. And we then carry on with the everyday actions of life, washing up, mowing the lawn, getting changed and eating and so on. You see, it's not so clear we want to hunt, rush through, missing all our incarnations. And what I mean by that is not what we want from our perspective, but from God's. That He's allowing and having, goodness, not just allowing, He's creating all these opportunities for us to live and experience. At the minute, as it seems, on Earth, in whatever century you're in, listening to this talk. I'm in the 21st century at the minute, but well, taste and see. When you are aware of God, do you wake up from this world, this life, in the century that you're in? Or does it carry on, but with some passing awareness of God. I think that is the case, isn't it? And when we're in a dream that's going wrong, well, then we would like to wake up. And if it is a dream, I think we do, because we start to take command of the dream. And we come back to the goodness of waking life, as opposed to the fear or the problem, confusion of the dream. Does that mean we can do the same with our waking life? Well, when you're enjoying things are going fine, it's nice to be thankful to God, isn't it? It just feels right somehow to say thank you and to love him for all his goodness. And when things are going wrong, we should become very mindful of God. For that will break the dream. And I don't mean that will necessarily translate us from here into heaven. I mean heaven will come here if it's not time for us to be there. And the dream of life, the awakened life, will adjust in accordance with the awareness of God. So it's not that well, in a sense we'll awaken from the dream of life into the reality of life, which is God has given this very static dream. But we have a sovereignty, his sovereignty of being able to tune in to his thoughts in the dream instead of our own that seem to have gone wrong. You know, we're in an accident, say, and it might be us that's hurt, it might be someone else. But we take an awareness of God into the accident. And the dream of life unfolds accordingly, on track with the values and the will of God. Because we love him and we're thankful and we trust him. So whether you're asleep or whether you're awake in this life, when things get difficult, tune in to the consciousness of God's presence, your consciousness and his consciousness in the whole activity. How do you do that? Well, you practice it. And I think thanking God helps to do that, because when we're puzzled, we think I need God. And when we think I need God, we can start to tune in by thanking him. And if life is just some even mix of good and bad, things going right and things going wrong, and we're not really doing much to fret about the things that are wrong or enjoy the things that are right, well, wouldn't it be better to become more aware and thankful for this amazing experience? And by so doing, track into God's will in your life by a greater awareness of him. So I think I've talked in a big circle, but worthwhile, and perhaps something we can do now going back into the dreams. Somehow we have to be in a state where when we are dreaming, especially that is things that are wrong, in fact in particular things that are harmful and hard, then we could wake up. But there is a caution. It may be that God is teaching us through a dream necessary lessons, necessary experiences, and we're short-circuiting that. So don't be certain that you can increase the awareness of God in dreams. May have it otherwise, mightn't he? But taste and see. And presumably he can override where it's necessary for us to have certain what we see as bad experiences. So we need to trust him, but our trust will be greater the more we are aware of his goodness. Our trust will increase. And it may be dreams are specifically so that we have certain circumstances in which we don't have such trust, and we experience a lesson, an anchoring, a reprogramming, if you like, of our mind that is brought about by an experience of the absence of being aware of God. In fact, the whole of life, living generally, I mean other people and creatures, may be of that. I say maybe because I don't know. Except to say, God is wonderful and the creator of all. If he is, then what he's allowing is to good. And that very thought starts to build us in trust, doesn't it? Is trust in itself right? Should we be cautious to trust, recklessly, so to speak? Probably to trust the wrong things, yes. Trust in a person that's not trustworthy, that's not a good idea. So we have, by our experience in this life, come to understand what to trust in and what not to. And we may have got it wrong. We may be trusting in a diet that's actually killing us. We may be trusting in people that are untrustworthy. So we start to build from our experience what we should trust in. It might be that we trust in kindness. It looks like Marshall trusts in thankfulness and kindness. And it looks like I trust in trust. That trust is itself a good. And perhaps I've come to believe that because of my experience here in living. We want our children to trust what is good, don't we? And to trust what is true. We've come to value the truth, haven't we? In general, I think. And such value in us, trusting in trust and trusting in truth and trusting in love, perhaps, trusting in marriage, trusting in God, have come about from our experience here in this life and whatever convictions came with us when we came into this life. Perhaps from our parents genetically, perhaps from previous life or previous existence in heaven, or what God has put in. We don't know. We surmise, have all sorts of theories and beliefs. Thank you, Heavenly Father.